Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you everyone for attending today's UPLIFT training. My name is Jen Ong and I'm a project manager at BitFocus. A couple of housekeeping items before we dive into the training. First of all of you are on mute, so if you do have a question during the training, please type it into the questions section in GoToWebinar, and I'll be covering those questions at the end of the training. Second piece of housekeeping is that this training assumes some knowledge of the Clarity HMIS system. So if you have not attended a new user training and you don't have a license, or if you are not a frequent user of the system and are not very comfortable with the basics, please do sign up for a new user training, and you can sign up for that on our scc.hmis.cc website. If you have questions about that, I can show you that site at the end of this training as well. Today, we're going to be covering the following topics. First, we're going to do a brief overview of UPLIFT, including eligibility requirements, some changes to how allocations will work starting this coming quarter, and some important dates to keep in mind. And then we're going to go into the Clarity system and I'll show you how to refer clients to UPLIFT using HMIS. For those of you who are new to UPLIFT, UPLIFT stands for Universal Pass for Life Improvement from Transportation. It provides quarterly VTA transit passes to adults experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of homelessness. And the goal of UPLIFT is to help people get housing or employment by improving their access to public transportation. In order to be eligible for UPLIFT, the client must be homeless or seriously at risk of losing their housing due to lack of transportation. In order to refer a client to UPLIFT, you must also be giving this client case management at your agency. And the reason I point these items out is that the eligibility questions will actually appear in HMIS when you request an UPLIFT pass for your client. I also wanted to go over some changes to the allocations that will start this quarter, which is going to be April 2016. For the first month and a half of the referral window, agencies are going to be able to make referrals up to their total allocation. For agencies or users who are new to UPLIFT, allocation is a number of passes that your agency has every quarter to give to clients or to request for your clients. As a note, the allocations for every agency may have changed. Please check your email for a notice from the UPLIFT administrator with all of the allocations for every agency starting April 2016. If you did not receive an email, you might have a different UPLIFT contact at your agency, so please check in with them to get that information. The allocation updates that I'm referring to on this slide are also in that email, so you will be able to have that written out for you if you need it. So going back to the allocation changes, for the first month and a half of the referral window, you can make referrals up to your total allocation. For this coming quarter, that's going to be the time period of March 21st through April 30th. After that, in the second and third month of the quarter, any unused allocations will be pooled, and any agency can request a pass on a first-come, first-served basis until all of the passes have been distributed out to clients. That means that if your agency had requested passes up to your total allocation by the end of the month, in April 30th, starting May 1st, you can start requesting passes again. For agencies who did not use your full allocation, that means that those remaining passes that you did not request up to April 30th will be up for grabs by all of the agencies who participate in UPLIFT. And this is a new change to the allocations, and that will be ongoing for the following quarters, and it will be tweaked based on how well it works this quarter and in following quarters. Important dates. So the most important date to keep in mind is March 21st. That is going to be the first day you can request an UPLIFT pass for your clients for the quarter starting April 2016. And all passes have to be requested using HMIS. And just a recap of the allocation changes, from March 21st to April 30th, you can request UPLIFT passes up to your agency's total allocation. Starting May 1st, for the rest of the quarter, passes can be requested on a first-come, first-served basis by any participating agency until no more passes are available. All right, so how would you request a pass using the HMIS system? In general, you can think of referring a client to UPLIFT as creating a program enrollment in HMIS for that client. Every quarter, what you're going to do is you're going to enroll any new clients into your agency's UPLIFT program. So that means that if you have not requested a pass for that client using HMIS before, you'll be enrolling them into UPLIFT to request their pass. For any continuing clients, so clients who have requested passes before and you have an open UPLIFT program enrollment for them, you'll be creating a status update assessment. And for clients who you are no longer requesting passes for, if they have an open UPLIFT program enrollment, you'll be exiting them from that UPLIFT program enrollment. We'll go over each of these stages in detail and in the system in a minute. Some other requirements for HMIS. There are some standard requirements that you'll have to cover for your UPLIFT clients. Most important is the release of information, or ROI. You have to make sure that there is a valid ROI for that client in the system. And you'll also have to create a VI SPDAT for any clients that do not have one already created for them. And lastly, if you are requesting a badge for the client, which is the physical ID card that you put the transit pass stickers on, we use the profile photos from HMIS to print out those badges, so you'll have to upload a profile photo if you're requesting a badge. So we're going to go through each of these stages in detail. For new clients, if you have not requested an UPLIFT Transit Pass for a client using Clarity HMIS before, then this is the process you're going to follow. And since this is the beginning of using UPLIFT in the Clarity HMIS system, starting this quarter, March 21st, all of your clients are going to be getting program enrollments. So this is the process you're going to be using for everybody this quarter. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the HMIS system, and I'll show you how to request a pass for the first time. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to search for the client. This is the normal way you would search for a client for your programs. So if you have not attended a new user training and you're unfamiliar with searching for a client, creating new clients, and working with client profiles, then I would strongly suggest that you attend a new user training. But we're going to go ahead and search for the client. And if the client is not in the system, you would go ahead and make a new user client profile for them by clicking this button. Again, that's covered in the new user training. Once you've found the client, you're going to go ahead and click Edit to go to their profile page. And if you are requesting a badge for the client, this is where you would double check and make sure their photo is up to date. Before we go into how to update the client's photo, another important thing to note is that you want to make sure that they have a valid release of information in the system. If the client profile exists and they don't have a valid ROI, there's going to be a yellow banner that's going to be at the top of the client profile section that lets you know that the client does not have a valid ROI and needs to be updated. You can also check ROIs by clicking on this shield icon to the right-hand side of the screen. And that is also covered in more detail during the new user training. Okay, for those of you who need to upload a profile photo for the badges, the way you would do that is first you check to see if there is already a picture here. Profile photos have to meet the following requirements. First of all, the client's entire head, their entire face, has to be visible on the photo. They should not be wearing sunglasses, and the photo should not be blurry. So the question you should ask is this client identifiable using the profile photo that's showing up on the screen? And this exact image is going to be what prints out on the badge. So if you can imagine a physical ID card with a 1 inch by 1 inch profile photo, that's the approximate size that that image is going to be, so that you can gauge whether the picture is appropriate. To upload a new photo, you're going to click this Update Photo link. And you have an option to take a photo from web camera, or you can also upload the photo. And this is like uploading the ROI file. You would search for the file, and then you would hit upload. While the photo is uploading, oh, there we go. Once the photo is uploaded, you can crop it to match the image you want to show on the profile page, and you can see a preview of what that's going to look like. And once you've adjusted it to be the way you want it to look, you can hit Save Picture. And that's how you upload the profile photo. So that is the process you would use if you are requesting a badge for the client. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to check and make sure that the client has a VI SPDAT completed for them. The way you do that is you go to the Assessments tab, and under Assessment History, you will see whether or not the client has a recent VI SPDAT completed for them. If there's already one completed for them, you do not have to create another one, even if it is under another agency. However, if there is no VI SPDAT, what you're going to do is under this assessment section, you're going to choose the appropriate VI SPDAT, and you're going to go ahead and hit Start. I'm not going to go into detail about how to complete the VI SPDAT. There's a training on our HMIS website that goes into the VI SPDAT in detail if you want to, if you need help in learning how to complete the VI SPDAT for your clients. But in terms of navigating to the VI SPDAT, you would come to this Assessments tab, and then you would hit Start, and the assessment will show up, and you can fill out the questions and hit Save at the end to complete the VI SPDAT. The VI-SPDAT and the ROI are standard HMIS requirements. Now I'm going to show you the UPLIFT specific requirement, which is enrolling the client into an UPLIFT program. What you're going to notice is that in the top right-hand corner of your screen, your name and your agency are listed. If you click the arrow to the right of your agency name, starting March 21st, you'll have an option for UPLIFT. And you're going to go ahead and click UPLIFT. This is going to bring you to the UPLIFT section or the UPLIFT agency in the HMIS system. The way you can tell you're in UPLIFT is, first of all, in this upper right-hand corner, your agency name is now UPLIFT. So if you're ever unsure which agency you're under in the system, you can look in this top right-hand corner to see where you are. We're going to go to the Programs tab to create a program enrollment. One thing you'll notice that is that you will see all UPLIFT programs now that you're under the UPLIFT agency in Clarity. And so every agency that participates in UPLIFT will have their own UPLIFT program named after their agency. There are a couple of agencies that manage allocations, 2 or more separate allocations for their agency. So in that case, you might see more than one program for your agency. So for example, Salvation Army has 2 different programs, and that is to track any separate allocations that you need to track within your agency. Most agencies will just have one program. And if you're not sure, check internally with your agency administrator to make sure that you know which programs to look out for in UPLIFT. So in this example, our test user is from Abode. So we're going to enroll the client into the UPLIFT Abode Services program. The way you do that is you're going to click this down arrow on the right, and you're going to hit the Enroll button. This is going to bring you to the program enrollment screen for the client. If you have recently filled out program enrollment information for your client within the last 6 months, some of this information may already be updated, and so all you have to do is verify that the information is correct and update anything that needs to change. You're going to go ahead and enroll the client on the day that you're requesting the pass. So let's pretend that it is April 21st, the first day we can request passes. And we're going to put that as our program entry date for now. And then I'm going to fill out the questions. Very early on, you'll notice that there is a section that's called UPLIFT Eligibility and Referral. These are the UPLIFT specific questions that you need to answer in order to request the pass for your client. So you'll notice that the first 2 questions have to do with the eligibility requirements. So you want to make sure that you answer those appropriately. And then you'll be asked what kind of pass you're requesting. So you can choose badge, sticker, or badge and sticker, depending on what your client needs. For folks new to UPLIFT, badge is the physical ID card. The sticker is the pass that shows what quarter the client is able to use the VTA transit. And badge and sticker is a combination of both. And the last thing for UPLIFT is you're going to check off which time period the pass is going to be for. So this coming quarter is going to be April through June. The rest of the questions on this screen are the standard program enrollment questions that you have to answer for every program enrollment. So they should look very familiar for those of you who manage other programs in HMIS. And once you're done filling out the questions, you're going to go ahead and hit save and close. Once you've completed that, that is the equivalent of referring the client to UPLIFT. So the UPLIFT administrator is going to be able to run a report in HMIS to tell who has requested a pass. Once you're done enrolling the client in the system, if you are planning to enter in other data for your regular agency, you want to go back up to this upper right-hand corner, and you're going to want to switch back to your home agency. So to recap, for new clients, you're going to make sure the client has an ROI. If you're requesting a badge for the client, you're going to make sure that their profile photo is uploaded. If the client does not have a VI SPDAT, you're going to complete a VI SPDAT for them. Then you're going to switch to UPLIFT. You're going to enroll the client into your agency's UPLIFT program. And then you're going to switch back to your home agency when you're done. For continuing clients, we're going to go over how to do that process. Nobody is going to be in this situation this quarter, but next quarter, the quarter starting July through September, any clients that will need an UPLIFT pass that you have already requested a pass for them in April will follow this process. So anybody with an open program enrollment in UPLIFT in starting July, you're going to follow this process. So we're going to go into the system, and I'll show you how to do that. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go back to the client. So in this case, we've been working with the client recently. So when you're back on your search tab, we're just going to go ahead and go to this client's profile. You're going to switch to UPLIFT by going to the upper right-hand corner and choosing UPLIFT. And then we're going to go to the Open UPLIFT program enrollment for this client. So we're going to go to the Programs tab. And you'll notice under Program History, it shows the UPLIFT Abode Services program enrollment for this client. We're going to go ahead and hit Edit. And the way you request a pass for the following quarter is by creating a status update assessment. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this Assessments tab under the program enrollment, and you're going to hit Start next to the status update assessment. Once again, the date of the assessment is going to be the day you're requesting the pass. So we're going to fast forward to July and request a pass. You'll notice that the questions that we filled out at program enrollment will automatically be answered. And so you would just go through and verify that the information is correct. For UPLIFT, again, the 4 questions for UPLIFT are going to show up at the top of the screen. You're going to verify these answers to these questions. And in particular, you're going to make sure that you update the type of pass you're requesting and the time period that you need the pass for. And this information will let the UPLIFT administrator know what kind of transit pass they need to send to you or need to have available for you. Once you're done, you're going to hit Save and Close. Once you've done that, that will request the pass for your client for that quarter. So that's the equivalent of referring the client to UPLIFT that quarter. Once again, if you are working on other things in HMIS, please remember to switch back to your home agency by clicking this down arrow and choosing your home agency. The process is a little bit different if your client has been in the program for a year. So if we fast forward to next year, if you're still working with the client and they still have an open UPLIFT program enrollment, if it has been a year since they've enrolled in the program, you're going to request the pass by creating an annual assessment instead. And so the process is going to be the same. You're going to switch to the UPLIFT agency. And you're going to go to the Programs tab for that client. You're going to hit Edit under the Program Enrollment. And you're going to go to the Assessments tab. And instead of hitting Status Update Assessment, you'll hit Annual Assessment. And you'll notice that when I hit Start on this, that the questions are the same. So that's what you would do at the end of every year for your client if they're still in the program and you're still requesting passes for them. There's one other requirement if the client has been in the program for a year, and that is that you have to create a new VI SPDAT for them. And again, the way you would do that is you would go back to your home agency by clicking in this upper right-hand corner. You would go to the Assessments tab, and then you would hit Start next to the appropriate VI SPDAT. So to recap, for continuing clients with an open UPLIFT program enrollment, if they've been enrolled in UPLIFT for less than a year, you're going to switch to the UPLIFT agency. You're going to go to the program enrollment, and you're going to create a status update assessment. If the client has been in the program for a year, or it's their anniversary of being enrolled in the program, you're going to complete a VI SPDAT for them. You're going to go to the UPLIFT agency, to the client's UPLIFT program enrollment, and you're going to create an annual assessment for them. Closing out a client. So this is the last thing that I'm going to cover in this training. You would close out a client if one of the following is true. You're no longer requesting UPLIFT passes for the client. You're no longer working with and providing case management for the client. Or the client is no longer eligible for the UPLIFT program, those two eligibility requirements that we covered earlier in the training. And what you can do is at the beginning of every quarter, you can go through your open UPLIFT program enrollments, and any client that you're no longer requesting passes for, you can exit at that time. So the way that you would do that is, again, you would go to you would find the client's profile page in the Clarity system. You would switch to UPLIFT by going to the upper right-hand corner and choosing UPLIFT. And then you would go to the program enrollment. So you would go to Programs, and then you would hit Edit next to their UPLIFT program enrollment. Once you're there, you can close out the client by hitting the End button. And by filling out the exit information. One thing to note is that the UPLIFT administrator has to run outcome reports on UPLIFT to send to the folks who make this program possible, so City of San Jose and VTA. So outcome information is important. So please make sure that when you're exiting the client from the system, to make sure that you accurately put in their housing status, their destination, and especially their cash income information and non-cash benefits. Of course, we want to make sure that all of the information on this exit screen is accurate, but in particular for outcomes, we really want to make sure that those particular questions are filled out and are accurate. Once you're done filling out the information, you're going to hit Save and Close at the bottom of the page. And that should close out the client. So, and as a reminder, if you're going to be working on other data for your agency, please remember to come back up to the right-hand corner to the arrow next to UPLIFT and choose your home agency again. So to recap, to close out a client, you're going to switch to the UPLIFT agency. You're going to go to the program enrollment and exit the client. And you're going to switch back to your home agency when you're done. So that concludes how to refer clients using Clarity. If there are any questions, I'll take them now. Check. So for those of you who don't have a Clarity license yet, in order to get a Clarity license, you have to do a few steps. The first thing is you want to make sure that you get trained in the basics of HMIS. So to do that, you're going to go to scc.hmis.cc. You're going to go to this training link and choose Schedule a Training. And you'll notice here that it tells you what kind of training is required in order to get access to Clarity. The first thing is a general training, and they're webinars. So you can come here and you can choose which date you want to attend, and you can click to register for that training. The second required training is this HMIS consent training, and that's a video recording. So you would click this to view it. And once you've done watching that video, you'll hit Submit Certification of Completion to basically let us know that you've completed that training. And while we're on this page, if you are wanting more information about VI-SPDAT, there is a video on the VI-SPDAT here, and there's also a certification of completion that you can fill out once you've viewed that. The last thing you need to do in order to get a license is you're going to go to this Client Forms section, and you're going to go to the End User Agreement, and you're going to fill that out. Once you fill that out, it's going to ask you to get your HMIS Technical Administrator to sign that. So that is a person at your agency who has been designated as the person who can request Clarity user logins for everybody at your agency. So you would get that person to sign the form, and they would contact our help desk to get you a login. And if you're not sure what the contact information for our help desk is, it is listed up here on this same website. All right, next question. If the client is still in case management but is housed, will they still be eligible for UPLIFT? Yes, if you're still working with the client and they meet the second requirement, which is that they're at risk of losing housing because of lack of public transportation, then yes, they will be eligible for UPLIFT. Next question. If I am requesting a pass for the following quarter, do I set the date as today or the first day of the following quarter? You would set the day as the day you're requesting the pass. So it doesn't have to be the first day of the quarter. It's the day you're filling out the form in HMIS. How does one know when the UPLIFT pass is ready? The HMIS administrator, which at the moment is Maggie, is going to contact the UPLIFT contact at your agency to let them know when the pass is ready. So all of the agencies received an email from an UPLIFT administrator email address that asked them to fill out a form to say who that lead person is. And once you filled out that form, that is the person that Maggie will be contacting to let them know that the passes for their agency are ready. Do we still do the VI SPDAT if they are housed? That is a good question. I will double check with the county to make sure this is correct, but if they're in UPLIFT and you're still requesting passes for them, yes, you would do the VI SPDAT. But I will also verify with them to make sure that's correct, and if it's not, I'll email everyone afterwards and let them know. Right. There are a couple more questions, but while I answer them, I'm going to put up some contact information on the screen. So if you have further questions, the UPLIFT administrator can be contacted at this website, uplift@hhs.scc.gov.org. And if you have questions about HMIS, you can contact scc support@bitfocus.com. Okay, next question. Once we complete this training, how do we get access to UPLIFT on our Clarity HMIS? So what we're doing is that since you have logged on to this webinar, we have a record that you've attended this training. And what we're going to do is on March 21st, we're going to go ahead and give you access to that. So you don't have to do anything else. Although one thing I'll note is that in the email that asks for your HMIS or your HMIS UPLIFT lead contact, there is also, I believe, a question that asks which users at your agency are authorized for UPLIFT. So just make sure that your name is listed there to be extra sure. Next question, can we print out this slideshow? I'll be emailing this out to everybody who attended the trainings this week. So yes, you'll have a PDF version of it that you can print out. And what we'll be doing is we'll be posting some instructions on the website as well in the upcoming weeks. But that is will be available soon, but is not yet available. Next question, what if there are other people who sat in on the training today? Can I submit their names so that they can get shown as completing the training? Yes, if you email me, I can note that down. My email address is jenno@bitfocus.com. So yes, if you email afterwards, I can log that down. I do have a note here that says that some folks may have had trouble with the audio during the training. So if you did run into that, I'll be sending out the information via email, again, those slides. And if you do have further questions, you can either email me at the email address that I mentioned earlier, or you can contact our support team and they can refer you to me for any follow-up questions. And I think those are all of the questions that are showing up so far. So I'll stay for a couple more minutes in case anybody has any last minute questions that they're still typing in. But for everyone else, thanks so much for coming to the training and hope it was helpful.